Okay, so I just wanted to go over really quickly the lesson plan assignment with you. So, um, just to remind you, this is meant to replace the last two reading quizzes. Okay, so the purpose. So a lot of you requested that you have more practice developing lesson plans, and so I thought this would be at least an easy way to kind of introduce you to it by making it so you don't have to deal with making the objectives or most of the materials. Um, so basically, yeah, so let's see. Yes, for this lesson plan, you will have the necessary materials, but you'll need to determine how to incorporate them into a lesson. So you'll need to actually write out the procedures that you're going to follow. So you need to make sure that's put in a logical order. Actually, provide a lot of detail about how you're going to go about doing it in the class. And a lot of what you do should actually use some of the strategies that we talked about. So about like promoting and maintaining motivation. So some of the stuff that we've read. Okay, so I've given you the characteristics for the class. So the topic is phone conversations and sentence stress. If you don't know much about sentence stress, I would suggest looking up information on content versus function words. So that's going to be one of the activities that I provide below. It's for a low intermediate listening and speaking class. Okay, so nothing too advanced. But it should be understood that they can follow language a little bit more easily than like a beginning level. The learners for this class are adults, and a lot of them are members of the community. So they might have moved here with a spouse who's a U.S. citizen, or they recently immigrated in general, or they are refugees, for instance. So these are all examples of people who might join this class. And the class time is 110 minutes in length. Okay. So yeah. So for the objectives, you'll notice that I've given those here. So students will be able to learn about and apply the rules of sentence stress, identify content and function words, use stress to emphasize important words or ideas or show contrast, and understand and answer common questions in a typical customer service conversation over the phone. Okay, so these should guide, these objectives will be meant to guide the actual flow of the lesson and to know like what types of procedures to follow. And then you also have these materials. So you have the content words, finding sentence stress, customer service call, customer service training, phone interview, cell phones, and then Blackboard and chalk. Okay, so yeah, so you'll devise your own procedures and structures for the activities. You'll use the motivational theory that we've discussed. And then with each activity, you should provide a rationale of 3 to 4 sentences. Okay, so explain how that relates to motivational theory. Explain kind of like your thought process behind the ordering that you chose. Okay, so if you think it's like a foundational activity, state that in the rationale. And then also, I had to add this. For each activity, provide an estimated time that it will take. So for instance, if it will take so for instance, if it will take, like, if you estimate that it will take 15 minutes, then you should say that it will take 15 minutes, okay? So it's best to do that just so you can actually follow along with, make it so it only takes 110 minutes. And you have to be realistic about this too. So remember, things will take a little bit longer than you anticipate them taking. So a good rule of thumb is if you think that if you think that the activity will take 15 minutes, you should probably add about 5 to that. Okay. Let me add that really quick. Okay, and then so all of this will be due on April 5th at 11:59 p.m. So you'll upload it into the Dropbox that I have for lesson 10. And so you'll just do that. Make sure that you follow the instructions for the file name. So you should have your last name underscore lesson plan assignment and .docx. Okay. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can email me about that. So grading wise, so it's worth the same as the two last quizzes, so 80 points. So 20 points for the rationales for each activity. So after each activity, make sure there is a rationale of approximately 4 sentences. 20 points for detailed procedures that follow a logical progression. 30 points for adequately displaying knowledge of motivational theory and explaining how it fits in with the activities. Yeah, so a hint here, look at chapters 3 and 4 that we've read from the Dornier book. And then 10 points for proofreading and using a clear and easy to follow format. So these should be, it should be, when I look at it, I should have a clear idea of where I'm starting and where I'm going. And how to read through the lesson plan. So a lot of times with lesson plans, you want to do it in bullet format or number things, number them in steps. Okay, yeah, so let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with doing this.